Hi, welcome back. If it's your first time here, my name is Jess, and together with my husband Jerry, we are all about transformation. In this week's episode, we are moving into our new house here in Florida. If you've been around for a little while, you know that we moved to Florida from Pennsylvania a few months ago, and we're staying in an Airbnb up until now. So this week, we're going to bring you along as we move out into the country. And you know, when you move into a house, you always find those spaces and things that you need that you didn't have. So I'm going to show you some of those spaces. We're going to go thrifting and see what we can find to fill them on a budget. So let's go. As beautiful as it may seem, the road getting here has not been an easy one. We had originally purchased a small house from my friend's son after she passed away. She was a single mom and raised her son all by herself in that small house. I really wanted to honor her by renovating the home and making it new. The contractor checked it out after demolition, and we realized that there was no foundation, and he suggested the house be torn down. The county, however, said if we tore it down, we could not rebuild. So it's sitting there waiting for us to make some decisions. In the meantime, we stayed in an Airbnb for 2 months until we were able to find a house of our own. And this 6-acre property was just what we needed. The house is a rental, and it is dirty. Look, you can't even see through the window. Here's the living room and the dining room area. What do you think of that chandelier? I'm hoping it grows on me. There's plenty of space and plenty of light. I love the flooring. The wall color was pretty, however, with certain lighting, it shined purple, and I wasn't into that. Here's the master bedroom and the master closet. I'm really enjoying this closet. Lots of space for lots of stuff. The bathrooms were mostly renovated, but like I said, dirty. There's a lot of rust in the water, so we're still learning how to clean that. This sun porch we are renovating into 2 rooms. My husband will build a wall in the middle. One side will be for my son's bedroom, and the other side will be an office. I love the gorgeous, peaceful views. There's a small deck and patio out back. The kitchen was also recently renovated. Everything was nice and clean after my daughter and her sweet husband helped us mop and wipe out all the cabinets. Here's the second bathroom, a garage off the kitchen, and my other son's bedroom. We have 5 children. 3 of them stayed in Pennsylvania, and the 2 youngest came with us. Well, now the move is done, but the real work begins. Unpacking it all, giving it all a place, settling in, and making it home. Let's go. Like I said, in certain lighting, this wall color looked purple. After painting several pieces of furniture with the Age Beige color by Behr, I decided to paint the walls in the same color. It really brightened up the space. It's a very neutral color, which will go with my furniture and rug. Here's some areas that need some help. The laundry area, I'll be looking for a rug when we go thrifting. This is the boys' bathroom, and they need some kind of shelf to hang above the toilet. This is the drawer in my bathroom. I need some kind of organization caddies. And something to hold my toothbrush. Here's a sweet chair in my bedroom that I like to read my Bible in the morning. I need some kind of a footstool. This is off the garage. I'd like to find something to hang here for our keys. The dining room area is very narrow, so we'll be looking for some things to decorate that. In Colby's room, we'll have to finish this wall. Hey guys! Yeah, so yesterday was a full day of thrifting, so I thought it would be fun if I would let you watch me unpack and see what we got. I already took this tree out. I paid $30 for this tree at Goodwill. It's in really good condition, it just needs cleaned. So let's get unpacking. We'll go ahead and talk a little bit about these items. Some people ask me, how do you know what to buy when you're thrifting? I guess it's kind of like what catches my eye, what I think that I can do with it after I bring it home, because a lot of times I repurpose it or I give it new life in a whole different way. But textiles is something I often watch out for and don't use them for their intended purpose. So this here is a pillowcase that I probably will not put on a pillow, but I like the fabric, so I thought maybe I would use that sometime. I don't have a plan for all this stuff right now. These are the textiles I got. I thought this would be really pretty at Christmas time to maybe make some pillows. Tablecloth, but it won't fit any of my tables, so we'll use the fabric for something else. I found plenty of corals this time. Little organization basket. Some napkins, decorative beads. This I thought was super cute. The frame actually doesn't even go back together. I mean, the picture goes in, but it doesn't stay in. But I love the print. It's actually a cornmeal sack. So I'll probably end up using that fabric for something else as well. Here's another really good example of textiles. These are clothes, sweaters. And I probably would never wear this in Florida, or this. But I liked the idea of putting this maybe on a stool. I don't know if you remember, I said I needed a little stool for inside at my chair in my bedroom. So I found this little wooden stool and I thought, well, maybe we'll try to do something with it. In this basket, I found some clothes. I wasn't really looking for clothes, but they were in the Goodwill bin, so I picked them up. Here again, just something I'll probably use as fabric. Same with this sweater. Thought it was cute with the buttons on the sleeves. I have an idea for this. I did find this toothbrush holder at the Goodwill bins. I probably paid less than $1 for it. At our Goodwill bins, all glass is 49 cents a pound. I gave it a quick coat of smoky beige by Rust-Oleum. I also found these pillowcases at Goodwill. They were marked $4.99. However, the day that I was there was Red Tag Day, so I got both pillows for 50% off, paying $4.99 for both of them. I also got the inserts there as well. However, once I inserted them, I realized that they were a little bit too small, so I'll be on the lookout for bigger inserts. This shelf sat at Goodwill for a couple of weeks. Every time I saw it, I wondered what I could do with it, but it just seemed like too big of a project, and I just didn't feel like taking that on while we were trying to move. I knew the shelf was a little bit too feminine for the boys' bathroom, but I decided to give it a try, and it actually was a lot less work than I thought. I removed some of the panels and the hooks to give it more of a square shape and removing the scalloped edges. Using the palm sander, I sanded the whole shelf down to the bare wood. I decided that I wanted to paint the inside black since the outside was going to be wood. And as you can see there was like black undertone in some of that wood. Not exactly sure why that does that, but I thought painting the inside black would make the shelf a little bit more cohesive. Using the palm sander, I then used my sponge sander and some small pieces of sandpaper to get into the small grooves around the trim. I taped off the wood part so that I could go ahead and spray paint the inside. I used a heavy-duty enamel black spray paint. I thought this would give it a more masculine look since this shelf was going in the boys' bathroom. And here is the finished look. I'm so glad I tackled this project. It fits so well there above the toilet. I paid $5 for this rubber-backed mat at the Goodwill bins. I thought it would be perfect in the garage in front of the washer and dryer. I found this Christmas tree skirt for $2.99 at Goodwill. I left it folded and cut it in a circle shape to fit on top of the stool. This gave the top of the stool a plush padding so that I could cover it then with one of the sweaters that I showed you earlier. The stool cost $4.99. Here I'm trying to decide which one of those sweaters I want to use as the cover. I ended up going with this fuzzy one. I liked the way it felt under my feet. It also had a nice stretch to it, so I knew I could pull it around and staple it well to the stool. Here I'm using the air compressor to staple the shirt around the stool. And here's the finished look. I found this shelf at Mission Thrift for $5.50. The size was perfect to hang inside the garage door to hang our keys, but I knew it needed some modifications. First, I wanted to remove the basket, then give it a quick whitewash to get the orange tone out of the wicker. A whitewash is basically when you mix white paint with water. It thins it out so that it can be easily wiped off. I wipe it off with a paper towel. This allows the paint to be more transparent so that you can see through it. I still like seeing the wood. It's just the orange tones do not go with my style. If you're enjoying this video, would you do me a big favor and hit that like button? Subscribe to my channel so that you never miss an episode, and share it with a friend. After the paint dried, I did fill in those little holes on the sides of the frame. These hooks were on our previous key holder, but it was too long for that space, so I removed them and donated the rest of it to Goodwill. And here's the finished product. I like how it's a catch-all right inside the garage door for wallets, sunglasses, keys, and yes, even my husband's pocket knife. These baskets I found in the Goodwill bins, and together they probably weigh about a pound. At our Goodwill bins, they sell things by weight, so it's $1.49 a pound. I know they don't match, but the spray paint helps with that. Little baskets just help with organization, and here I put them in the bathroom drawers to help organize this space. And here's the tree that I paid $30 for at Goodwill. It is in really good condition, but it is dirty and I don't like the orange tones in this basket. So here I'm giving the bottom of the basket a whitewash. Again, we mixed water and white paint and rubbed it off with a paper towel. And back to this chandelier. So after I cleaned it, I realized that it was only working with one light bulb. I took that light bulb out and replaced it with daylight light bulbs. It's not my favorite chandelier, but because this is a rental, we're making do with what we have. And I think it's growing on me. The process of cleaning this tree took about an hour and a half. I had to clean each little stem individually because the dust settled down in the crease of the leaves. This was a picture that we had in our old house in Pennsylvania. My son held it up for me so that I could make sure the placement was just where I wanted it. I found this little toolbox at Goodwill as well. I cleaned it down with crud cutter and painted it with white paint. Not whitewash this time. I wanted it to be solid white color. I wanted to sit it on this table, and because the table was solid wood as well, I wanted to give it a little bit more contrast. Speaking of this table, it belonged to my husband's family. In February, my mother-in-law passed away and went to be with Jesus, and we were able to purchase this table at the family auction for only $35. I want to redo it eventually, but I want it to be something that my husband helps me with since it was his family heirloom. And so far, this is where we're at with the dining room. Cleaning that tree made a big difference. I put a table runner on the table because, like I said, it needs redone. Here's the wall that Jerry built to separate Colby's room from the sunroom. We thought it would be fun to have Colby help with this project. We bought this wood paneling at Home Depot for about $30 a sheet. We could have finished this drywall using spackle and sanding it all down. But since we were already moved in, we didn't want to make the dusty mess. We wanted to make this room extra special for Colby since it was kind of a makeshift room. I love how Jerry is so patient with the boys and always teaches our children how to do things on their own. So often as parents, we get into the get it done mode and we forget to just slow down and take time to teach our children things that are necessary and helpful in their future. Here's the finished look. I love how his room's coming together. We still need to put some privacy film on the French doors that lead into the dining room. I had asked Jerry to hang these pictures in our bathroom. I gave him instructions to center them above the towel holders, and he did exactly as I asked. But when I came back, I realized the space in between was a little bit too wide. So I found this holder at the Goodwill, and I put it in between to fill the space. I added a plant, and voila. Well, that wraps up today's episode. I hope that we inspired you to create and transform special things for your space. This week as I was working, I decided not to rush, but to really have fun creating and transforming the things that we needed for our house. We want our place to be a home of calm, a home of peace, and not a home of stress. And I hope and pray that your house is the same for you. Until next time, bye.